Today we're diving headfirst in a topic that has caused a lot of controversy and quite a stir in the detailing world in the past few years. Picture this. Now you have your prized four-wheel possession and it's caked in dirt, mud, potentially dust, and who knows what else. And you're probably thinking, am I going to spend all these hours to properly detail it, hand wash it, or is there a magical shortcut? Well, my friends, that's where snow foams and foam cannons come into play. So we've all seen these, right, in many videos. So you have your pressure washer, you have a foam cannon, you add your favorite snow foam or car wash shampoo in there, and you blanket your vehicle in a layer of that snow foam just like this. But hold up, before you start thinking, do these snow foams actually work? Do they have a purpose, or do they just work like wizardry? Stick around, because you're about to embark on a foam-filmed journey to discovery. We're going to talk about the different types of snow foams and how they can be useful in your car detailing game. So let's go ahead and start the show. So hey guys, welcome to this latest episode of Pan the Organizer. All I want you to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So you're going to learn a lot of things about snow foams today as we're going to have this great discussion. First of all, you're going to learn what snow foams are, right? In the second part, what do they do? To do so, we're going to split that up in two categories. So we're going to have your pH neutral snow foams, and then we're going to have snow foams in a category of different pH levels. Some are more alkaline and some are more acidic. So you're going to learn everything there is to know about when you would use each type of snow foam and which scenarios as well, and how to use them. I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks on how to get thicker and richer foam for those of you who want that. We're also going to be answering questions like, is it better to foam a vehicle when it's dry, or if you pre-rinsed it first while it's wet? So let's immediately dive into the topic. By the way, don't worry guys, I'll leave the links to all these products in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So again, all you have to do, you know it, is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So first of all, what is a snow foam? A snow foam is like a car shampoo, and it was designed, it's in a liquid form, so just like a traditional car shampoo is, and depending on the dilution ratio, it's designed to go inside a foam cannon, and you combine it with your pressure washer to blanket the entire vehicle with that snow foaming agent. You're going to let it dwell a few minutes. Again, check the instructions of the specific product you're looking for as far as dilution ratios, how to use it, and also how long of a dwell time you let it on the surface. But while it's dwelling, so there's a couple of things that snow foams can do. Typically, we use snow foams as part of the pre-wash stage. So this is before you do the contact wash with your microfiber wash mitt and your favorite car shampoo. And I have a video on this. So is there such a thing as a touchless car wash experience? The answer is no. So again, these snow foams are only designed for the pre-wash stage. You always have to follow up with a mechanical agitation with your microfiber wash mitt and either your 2-bucket wash method or your 1-bucket wash method. Regardless which method you use to wash your car, you're always going to have to follow up with the hand washing stage. So there's been a lot of controversy why with snow foams, because some people believe they're completely useless, they don't do anything. And while many years ago this could potentially have been the case, more if you're using pH neutral snow foams, there has been a lot of development and progress in the car detailing world. And now we have categories of these snow foams that are high in the pH levels or on the alkaline scale, or very low on the acidic side of things on the pH scale once again. And we're going to talk about when you would use those. So snow foams, again, they're going to blanket the vehicle, right, with that layer of that thick snow foam that's going to cling onto the surface. It's going to dwell, and depending on which uses or which type of snow foam you're using, you're either adding lubrication to the surface. So this is one of the uses of a snow foam. So that lubrication is going to help minimize the chances of marring the paint when you're doing the contact wash. So the more lubricating agents there are on the surface, the more your microfiber towel or microfiber wash mitt will glide on the surface, and you're going to have less chances of marring the paint, which means less scratches and less swirls. Also, that snow foam can help to encapsulate any loose dirt or debris that's on the surface, because the chemicals that are in there, they help to emulsify. They contain detergents in there, emulsifying agents as well. They contain things basically that can help to encapsulate, lift that loose dirt and debris so you can rinse that off the surface, again in an effort to minimize the chances of getting swirls and scratches when you're doing the contact wash. So traditionally, you're going to start off, you have one of two choices. Either pre-rinse the vehicle first with your pressure washer. I highly recommend that you use a rinseless wash as a pre-treat. So you're going to spray that rinseless wash using a pump sprayer on the vehicle. Let that dwell a few seconds to a few minutes. Always work in the shade, never in sunlight, and on a cool surface is very important. Regardless what you're doing with detailing, always work in the shade and on a cool surface, in a garage if you can. If you work outside, no problem, as long as you don't work in direct sunlight. Don't let these products dry on the surface either. So you spray that rinseless wash on the surface. It's going to start to encapsulate a bit of that loose dirt and debris. You can either pre-rinse with your pressure washer, or other people like to apply a snow foam on the surface. So if we talk about what other uses would you have, well, again, we have to split them up in different pH categories. So here we have some good quality pH neutral snow foams. So for example, we have the Gimmick W4 citrus foam. Quick disclaimer, by the way, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid for this video. I'm just sharing my thoughts. So this citrus foam, this is a pH neutral formula. It's made to be used in a foam cannon, obviously, like all of these guys here. Some shampoos, by the way, can be used as snow foams on some occasions, like the Adams car shampoo. This is a pH neutral car shampoo that can be used in a snow foam or in a wash bucket, so it does both. But traditionally, snow foams are really designed to be used only in a foam cannon, not in your wash bucket. Again, read the instructions of the product that you're purchasing. So this is a citrus-based snow foam in the case of Gimmick. This I wouldn't necessarily recommend on waxed surfaces and sealed surfaces, but it's safe on ceramic coatings. So it is quite powerful, but will not damage the protection on your vehicle. Some other good quality pH neutral snow foams. We have Auto Fanatic 007 Snow Foam. This is a car shampoo that you can also use as a snow foam. Then we have Adams Mega Foam for those who want some thick and rich foam, pH neutral formulation once again. We have another car shampoo. So this is from Adams, once again, pH neutral, but you can use this in your wash bucket or in a foam cannon. And then the DIY Detail, this is their Incredible Suds. This is closer to a pH 8 or 8.5, but it's still wax safe, sealant safe, and safe for ceramic coating, so it's close to pH neutral enough. Again, you can use this in your wash bucket, this one, or in a foam cannon. And we have this one here. So for consumers and big box stores, Hybrid Solutions Pro Slick and Slide Pure Wash. This is by Turtle Wax. This can be used in your foam cannon, in your wash bucket, can even be used as a clay lubricant. So just a pure wash, a pH neutral car shampoo. So these aren't really meant, the cleaning of the pH neutral ones, for cleaning the car. What they do is add lubrication on the surface. So how you would use these is once you're done with your pre-rinsing, if you pre-rinse, or if you want to apply them on a dry paint, that's up to you to decide. I have another video on that. Is the pre-rinsing important or not? Go check that out. I'll leave all those videos linked, by the way, in the description. So you would blanket your vehicle with this, and then after you've done your pre-rinse, you're going to go and blanket your vehicle with the pH neutral snow foam, and then you can start hand washing your vehicle. So what I would prefer to do is first either pre-rinse or not, but you're going to blanket the vehicle with the pH neutral snow foam formula. You're going to rinse that off, and then you're going to refoam the vehicle once again to have that layer of lubrication, and then you can dive into mechanically agitating that with your car wash shampoo and your microfiber wash mitt or your microfiber towel, right? So the pH neutral formula in this case is going to act as a lubricant or a buffer between your wash media and the painted surface. So that buffer you have in between those lubricating agents, they're going to help your wash media glide on the surface. You're going to reduce the chances of marring the paint. So those tiny love marks that we get usually come from the washing stages and also the drying stages with your microfiber drying towel. So that's why we also use quick detail sprays when we're drying the paint with a microfiber drying towel. So you're adding lubrication on the surface. That's why they're called drying aids. So you're boosting gloss and slickness, yes, with a QD or quick detailer, but you're also lubricating the surface. So you're reducing the chances of marring when you're drying. But that's for another video. Today, we're focusing on the pre-wash stage. So you're washing the paint with a pH neutral formula and it adds lubrication. The other thing that these pH neutral formulas can do is if you have to work outside, or you're a mobile detailer, for example, or just a DIYer that doesn't have access to a garage, of course you always try to work in the shade on a cool surface, but sometimes there might be some sunlight and there's no other choice but to do that. What the pH neutral formula, when you're blanketing your vehicle with that, will do is help to protect against water spots. Because don't forget, when you leave water dry on the surface, those water droplets, they evaporate and they leave behind minerals. Those minerals are typically acidic in content and can start etching through the clear coat and leave permanent stains if they're left there unattended for many days baking in the hot sun, right? So to help prevent water spotting, if you don't have a water deionizer setup or reverse osmosis water, or you're not using distilled water to wash your car, if you have hard water issues where you live, you can help neutralize that with a pH neutral blanketed snow foam on top of your vehicle. So it's like a barrier or a sunscreen for the paint. It's going to give you enough time to wash the vehicle and then rinse it off before the sun has time to have all that water dry off and evaporate, right? Obviously at the end for the drying process, use a quick detail spray if you're working outside. It also helps to minimize the water spots and dry your vehicle as quickly as possible. So that's what a pH neutral formula will do. So basically it's going to give lubrication on the surface. So yes, it does that. And lubrication is always good. Again, when you're hand washing your vehicle, it helps prevent that marring on the surface. And the pH neutral formula can also help to prevent water spots when you're blanketing your vehicle with a layer of this. And if you have to work outside, for example, it gives you a longer of a delay before you have to rinse and dry the vehicle. So again, it's going to help to prevent those water spots. So I said they don't really clean the surface, right? And I think that's where a bit of the controversy was happening, is that people believe that snow foams alone can clean your entire vehicle. They do not, guys. There is no such thing as a touchless car wash experience. I wish there was. We're not there yet. There's a few of them, as we're going to talk in a few seconds, that can do a great job at pre-cleaning. But regardless which snow foam you use, mark my words, always follow up with a contact wash. The snow foams with the foam cannon are only used for the pre-wash stage. There's a reason why we call it pre-wash. So again, the controversy from a few years ago was probably because the pH neutral snow foams did not really do a great job at cleaning the surface. That wasn't really their role, right? Yes, they can help to lift a bit of that loose dirt and debris to encapsulate that so you can rinse that off, but that's pretty much it. They weren't really attacking the grime, the bug guts, the mineral deposits, the traffic film that is on top of the surface. And that's what I think some people were looking for. Some other professional detailers I've heard in their business as well in the past have told me, Pan, people like seeing snow foam so much that it was good for the business. So I was doing the pre-wash stage, regardless if I believed that it cleaned or not. I think it just looked cool and it makes the experience more fun, and clients appreciated that even more. I know a lot of people who watch videos online, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, regardless of what social media, we all like to see some snow foam. So I, myself included, will always foam my vehicle, but I have actual good reasons to do so. This is what we're explaining in this video. So those professional detailers, they often used those pH neutral shampoos back in the day just because their customers actually wanted to see that. So that's fine, regardless what your reasons are. As long as you use proper washing and drying methods, I'm all for it. We have to enjoy things as well. But the biggest purpose of using these pH neutral shampoos, once again, were to blanket your protection against water spotting on the surface and also adding lubrication. So now in the recent years, there have been developments through these car detailing companies that wanted to push the envelope and actually develop snow foams that could be used during the pre-wash stage to do some pre-cleaning, which is the ultimate objective. So let me show a couple of these today and give you scenarios as to when you would use these. You wouldn't use the higher pH or acidic level snow foams on a weekly basis. This is more on an as needed basis, depending on which products or things you're trying to do with your vehicle, right? So one of these snow foams that was developed recently that is absolutely amazing, can also be used in a wash bucket, is this one here, CarPro D-Scale. This has a pH level of 6, so is more on the acidic level of the pH scale, right? pH 7 being pH neutral, anything above that all the way up to pH 14 is alkaline, and anything below pH 7 all the way up to a pH 0, those are acidic contents. So this one here is made to remove minerals, waxes, sealants, and oils. So you can use this to strip off or to start breaking down older waxes or paint sealants on your vehicle during a detailing process before you go ahead and do decontamination steps with iron removers and clay bars and machine polishing. So especially if you're going to apply a ceramic coating or you just want to start fresh with a virgin clear coat, right, to put your protection on top, your first step would be to use something like CarPro D-Scale to start breaking down that older wax, older sealant. Of course, just a stripping shampoo alone won't fully remove previous protection, especially if it's been freshly or recently applied. So machine polishing or the mechanical abrasion is truly what's going to remove 100% of previous protections, especially ceramic coatings, which have much more durability compared to waxes and sealants. So you could use this to start the breaking down process of those older waxes and sealants, but this can also be used for a water spot or mineral deposit removal. So often people believe that their ceramic coating or graphene coating has died because it's not beating water anymore. Often is the case that that's not the case because usually it's just clogged with a bit of traffic film or mineral deposits from the water where you live, from washing your car, or perhaps it's parked near a sprinkler system or just for it being outside in the elements and it rains often. So those mineral deposits, they get left onto the surface, the water evaporates, and those minerals can start etching through the clear coat if they're left unattended, but can also clog the pores of the protection that's on your paint. So don't forget, paintwork is porous when seen through a microscope, so there's hills and valleys. The ceramic coating just try to flatten that a bit and it fills those hills and valleys, but still those minerals can prevent the water behavior or hydrophobic properties from acting properly. So you want to decontaminate those mineral deposits, and you would use something like this in there. And so that's one of the uses that you would have an acidic level of pH. You should go see my ultimate spring cleaning tutorial where I show the alkaline and acidic pH, how I would use this. So again, this is not for regular weekly washes. You do it for an as needed basis. So every other month or at the beginning of each new season, you want to rejuvenate your coating to remove mineral deposits, or you want to strip off older waxes or sealants before you detail a car. That's a perfect use for this. So another shampoo that, a pre-wash shampoo that CarPro has is called CarPro Lift. This is a pH 12, if I'm not mistaken, as far as the pH scale. So an alkaline pre-wash. This one here is made to remove a bit of that grime and that traffic film that accumulates. This is mainly formulated for ceramic coating or graphene coated cars, by the way. It will not damage those coatings regardless if it's a higher pH, so it's still safe on those surfaces. And what this does, again, it helps to lift that grime, a bit of those bug guts, to soften those up, to make them easier to remove during your contact wash. And again, to that active pH in there will help to remove a bit of that road film or traffic film, that oily substance that's usually on the roads when it starts raining out there. That water takes that oil, splashes it onto your vehicle, and it kind of clogs the pores of your coatings, again, preventing them from having their full potential of water beading and water sheeting. So to restore that, you would use something like CarPro Lift. Once a month is fine if you want it, or every other week, but this shouldn't be used, these higher pH. I wouldn't recommend them on a weekly basis, especially if, like me, you wash your car twice a week. All you need for regular weekly washes is the pH neutral snow foams and car shampoos, by the way. So you use these higher pH or lower pH snow foams on an as needed basis. So some other ones, these ones here are from the UK. They're absolutely fantastic. So from Built Hamber, we have the Touchless. This is a pH 12. So this is readily biodegradable because this one here is sugar-based, by the way. And the other one, which is a pH 13, that is also fantastic, from Built Hamber, is the Autofoam. So these two have a higher pH. Autofoam I prefer to use during the summer months, and in the winter months when you have a lot of that calcium and road salt accumulated, I like to use the Touchless during those winter months. So you can play around and see which one works best for you depending on the conditions where you live. So those higher pH, again, you would use for that grime, for breaking down a bit of those older waxes and sealants, again, before you do a full detail job and apply a ceramic coating, for example, and also to remove that traffic film, road grime, or those minerals from salts that are left in the case of Touchless during the winter on your vehicle. So they basically help to emulsify, to loosen up or soften up that dirt, that grime, that road film or traffic film, and make it easier to rinse off, and make it easier as well to remove and you're going to follow up with a contact wash. So it's all about pre-treating the surface with these snow foams to soften up all that bug guts, the grime, the road film, the traffic film, the minerals, depending on which ones you're using, right? Another one that works quite well at starting to break down older waxes and sealants, removing that traffic film road grime, is one from Kochemi or Kochemi. This is from Germany. This is a pH 12 and it's their super foam. So again, follow the instructions for the dilution ratios on the labels, guys. There's a reason why they have instructions on each one of these products, is you want to get the ratio appropriately correct. So I hope it's clearer now on what the roles are, right, about the snow foams. So they can help to protect the vehicle against water spotting in the case of pH neutral, and they can help add lubrication on the surface before you do the contact wash. So those are the pH neutral ones. And the acidic or alkaline snow foams, the second category of the different pH scale, will help to remove traffic film, road grime, soften up the bug guts, remove any mineral deposits that might be there, either from the calcium, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride during winter months on the roads, depending on where you live, of course, and also mineral deposits from water spotting. So if you have those water spots, the water evaporates, you got to address those as quickly as possible. There's a few of them here that are a good way to remove those mineral deposits. So that's what a good snow foam will do. So you blanketed your vehicle, you rinsed that off. You can often reapply the snow foam a second time, especially in the case of these pH neutral ones, by the way. So again, you're adding more lubrication, and then you move on to your contact wash. So the contact wash will be much easier because you'll have removed roughly 80 to 90% of the dirt and grime on the surface. So to answer the question, or the age-old question, do snow foams work? Yes, they absolutely work, guys. There is no doubt about it. I'm not the only one to speak about this. You can go and see my friend John Delir on the Forensic Detailing channel from the UK. He's also done extensive testing on snow foams, and well, basically anybody that does this more scientifically, although we never do fully scientific videos. I do have a background in biochemistry and molecular biology, if you've been following me for a few years now. So I studied in medicine and university in those fields, and so I have a better understanding of what these chemicals do, what they are. I can talk with the chemists in the industries, in the detailing world, to better understand also how to take that information and make it accessible to you guys in an easy to understand way. So do snow foam works? Do snow foams work? Yes, they do. But again, it depends what you need them to do, right? So you're either protecting against water spotting or you're adding lubrication on the surface. That is very important to protect against marring. So these pH neutral ones will work fantastically well. Or you're trying to soften up or encapsulate or remove or emulsify a bit of the road film, traffic film, grime, dirt, bug guts, and minerals that are on the surface. So then you have these newer to the market alkaline or acidic snow foam. So yes, they have their function. And what you'll notice, and I did a video on that again, is comparing higher pH to pH neutral to a control section with just water alone. You're going to see the cleaning action that these snow foams that actually do cleaning perform in real world scenarios. So yes, snow foam works. Again, it depends which categories you're using and what you're using them for. Now, do we spray snow foams on a wet surface or a dry surface? So there's two schools of thoughts. There's no right or wrong answer. Again, it depends what your preferences are, what your regimen or routine when you're washing your car is all about, the conditions that you're working in as well. Don't forget, I like to work in a controlled environment, 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and a controlled 40 to 45% humidity in my garage. But some people don't have that luxury to be able to detail from a garage. You're either a mobile detailer working outside, or you're maybe a DIYer and you have to work outside. So just keep some precautions in mind. But on both camps, what I would say, some like to pre-rinse first because they want to knock out a bit of that loose dirt and debris before snow foaming on there, which is fine. If you want to do that though, I would pre-treat the surface again with a rinseless wash. So spray the rinseless wash on the surface, let it dwell for a few minutes, let that start to encapsulate the looser dirt and debris, and it's going to encapsulate that. And when you're spraying it off, at least you're not spraying that dirt directly in the paint. You're going to have the rinseless wash to help evacuate all of that off. And then you foam, and then you do your contact wash. Other people like to spray the snow foam on dry paint. The reasoning behind that is if you spray your snow foam on a wet paint, the water can act as a barrier, preventing the chemicals or ingredients from the snow foam to better cling on the surface and dwell and do their job. And you're also diluting the snow foam a bit on the surface if you're spraying on a wet surface. Again, I did the test of pre-rinsing first versus spraying the snow foam on dry paint. In my conditions, there's not that much of a difference. A tad bit if you're spraying on dry. But don't overthink the moment. Again, do some testing, have fun with it. Detailing is meant to be fun. This is not supposed to be super serious and tedious. If we want it to be fun, we have to enjoy what we're doing. So go out there and do some testing for yourself. Take half of the vehicle, pre-rinse first, then foam and rinse and observe. Of course, try the car, see what kind of cleaning you got. And then on the other half, just snow foam on the dry paint, then rinse off, dry, and look for the results as well. And you can tell which one is going to be cleaner or not. Again, don't overthink the moment. Already the fact that you're using a snow foam to clean the surface or lubricating the surface, you're ahead of 99.9% of the population that might not be aware that snow foam exists or what they do, right? So yeah, that's one thing. And also for the dilution, I think, listen, it's not like your car is completely wet. Yes, there's going to be droplets of water on the surface. You're not over diluting. I mean, these, depending on which instructions you're following, make sure you get the proper dilution in the foam cannon itself. But once it's on the surface, regardless if it's wet or dry, it's not the end of the world. You're not overly diluting. But again, follow the instructions. Perhaps some of them tell you to pre-rinse first and then foam on, or foam on a dry surface. So each specific product can sometimes be used differently. I like to think outside the box and do different testing on my channel. So sometimes you'll see me apply on dry, you'll see me apply on wet. What's important, guys, is the end result. The pre-wash stage, it says it in the name, you're pre-cleaning or pre-washing the surface. The goal here is to remove the majority of the loose dirt and debris before the contact wash. That's the ultimate goal. We're not saying that we're fully cleaning the surface with the pre-wash stage. You're just helping to emulsify, free up a bit of that loose dirt and debris. And again, it's all in an effort to prevent scratching and swirl on your paint when you're doing the contact wash. So now, another tip that I can have, when you're mixing your snow foam solution in your foam cannon, if you want a bit thicker foam and you want to activate that liquid inside the foam cannon, use warm water when you're doing your dilution. So you could add either your water first and the snow foam afterwards, or a few ounces of that snow foam, follow the instructions in your foam cannon, and then add your water. Get your dilutions right, because I see a lot of people make the mistake. They put an ounce of the snow foam in the foam cannon container, and then they add another 30 ounces of water, where they fill up the foam cannon container, and then you over diluted. You're way beyond a traditional 1:8 or 1:10 ratio, right? If you do that. So make sure you follow the proper dilution ratios of the snow foam you're using. It is crucial to get that right. So use warm water in the foam cannon container. It's going to mix the product a lot better inside when you're shaking that up. So when you're stirring it up, by the way, and yeah, it's just going to help activate the liquid even better. Now, a lot of people say, I'm not getting the same level of foam as UPan or other YouTubers I see on detailing channels. Why is that? So there are many factors that influence how thick and how rich the snow foam can be. So first of all, the type of foam cannon you're using, the type of pressure washer you're using, the type of snow foam you're using, right? There are differences between snow foams. The dilution ratio of your snow foam, don't be over diluting, don't be under diluting, follow the instructions. And also the water quality. So if you have hard water issues where you live, so there's a lot of parts per million of minerals inside the water, well, you're not going to get as much suds or as much foam. So the best quality water is either distilled water, if you have a water deionizer setup like I do in my garage for pure water with zero minerals, reverse osmosis water. Just try and get the best quality water possible. There are some good water deionizer setups that, like I have, which connect directly to your water supply. Super simple, and they're not that expensive. I'll leave links in the description, by the way, but they're going to purify your water, and you're going to have a lot more foam and suds in your wash bucket and in your foam cannon. So the type of foam cannon as well can do a thing. The cheaper ones, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Get a quality foam cannon from a reputable brand. And also, if you have a weaker pressure washer, they often sometimes come with two orifices, traditionally 1.25 millimeters and a 1.1 millimeter around there. So you can swap the orifices. So that's how big the hole is inside the foam cannon where the soap has to go through. And so if you're decreasing the size, so if you go from a 1.25 to a 1.1, there's a lot more pressure going through, so you're going to have more foam. Be careful though, that can potentially trip some 15 amp circuits. I have 20 amp circuits in my garage, so I don't have any issues. But if you have an older circuit or an older home, for example, just keep that in mind. You could potentially trip the breaker. So if you're reducing the size, increasing the pressure, you're also increasing the amps that are used by your pressure washer. So do some testing. And so you can reduce the orifice size, you're going to get more foam. Also, the type of snow foam you're using. Not all snow foams are created equal, guys. Some foam a lot better than others, so follow the dilution ratios. And then once you've at least followed the instructions, let's say the instructions say a 1:10 dilution ratio, you can slightly adjust by adding a bit more of that snow foam, depending on your conditions again, but I wouldn't under dilute it, right? So if you're not adding enough of the snow foam inside your foam cannon container, or you're over diluting it, adding too much water, more than the instructions say, you're not going to get that much foam. The other factor to get a lot of snow foam is the pressure washer that you're using. So for detailing cars, never go above 2000 psi. So have a pressure washer that is 1000 psi or 69 bar to 2000 psi, roughly 138 bar. So in that window of 1000 to 2000 psi is more than enough to wash cars. Don't go above 2000 psi because you could potentially damage surfaces on the vehicle. Perhaps more importantly than pressure is the amount of gallons per minute or liters per minute of water flow. So the water output of your pressure washer, the higher the numbers, the more foam you will get out of your foam cannon container. So ideally, you want to be anywhere from 1.6 gallons per minute, which is 6 liters per minute of water output, all the way up to 2+ gallons per minute. That leads to 7.6 liters per minute. So if you're in that range of 1.6 GPM to 2 GPM or higher, or in liters per minute, 6 liters per minute to 8 liters per minute or more of water output, you're going to get a lot more foam. So those weaker pressure washers that potentially have 700 psi, only 1 to 1.2 gallons per minute of water, unfortunately, you're not going to be getting much foam output out of your foam cannon container. You can try and swap the orifice to the smaller one with the foam cannon and see if that works. But ideally, you'd get a better or upgraded pressure washer. I have a video on my most recommended pressure washer at all budget points, right? You can get entry-level pressure washers nowadays that have decent pressure and very good water flow or gallons per minute or liters per minute of water output. So I highly encourage you to look into a quality pressure washer, a quality foam cannon, follow the dilution ratios of the product you're buying, and perhaps verify what kind of water you have. If you have high mineral content or hard water where you live, invest in a water purifying system, either a water softener or ideally, like me, to have 0 parts per million of minerals. You would get a water deionizer. Simple setup, and you can work outside, and you're going to get a spot-free car wash experience, right? Because with a DI water, because you have 0 minerals, you technically can rinse the entire car and let it air dry, and you're not going to have water spots on the surface because there's no water minerals left inside the water. So guys, again, I'll leave the links to all the tools, equipments, products, the videos I spoke about in the description under the video. Go check those out. If you think this video could be important, share that with friends and family. It also helps to support my channel. Smash the thumbs up button to show me your support. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.